iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them four abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be making RaceSpot TV part of your day. Thanks for your continued support. Of course, we're live on iRacing Live and DirtVision.com. It is the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series, of course, with Craftsman on the sides. It is, of course, the 410 Wing Sprint Cars, myself, Cam Walsh, Randy Chenoweth, and Hugo Louis, bringing you live action here from Volusia Speedway Park in Barberville, Florida. We're going to get right into it here. And Randy, it's Volusia. It is super slick. I think this is the most track usage we have ever seen as these cars are rolling onto the grid.
We talked about it last week, Cam, out at USA, the fact that the first season that we had at Dirt, iRacing intentionally made the tracks pretty tacky and, allow people to somewhat ease themselves into it. This build, though, getting a lot more slicker track states. You had the capability to get the track this slick in that first build, but here in season number 2, it's just, okay, you guys have the experience. We're going to take the training wheels off to a certain extent. High usage to start with, and that inside line is super, super slick already as these guys get ready to grid for the 30-lap event tonight.
Absolutely. Let's get right into it. We have got a total of 13 cars taking the grid. It is going to be, of course, the number 1 car of Logan Seavey. He qualified first with a 13 flat. Austin Sembelman, he'll be starting his outside at 13.1. James Eden and Alex Bergeron will be in the second row. Howard Weaver and Robbie Stearns will be in the third row. Derek Walker and Robert Kerstetter will be in the fourth row. Stephen Renaud and Kevin J. Holly starting well in the back. The slicked off tracks, just maybe not his style, but he will be starting in 10th. We'll see where he can go. Eric Caron, Chad Robinson, and Tim Ryan will fill out this 13-car field. We're going to do a couple of laps behind the pace cars, so we're going to get some more time to talk about this, but Kevin J. Holly, he's starting in the back. He's going to have to fight his way forward. And Logan Seavey, of course, he's been quick all season long, Randy. So we'll see what these guys can do here at this Volusia Speedway Park.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting race to watch because Volusia is normally very, very single file just with the nature of the circuit, but I've only really seen it race when the surface is really, really tacky. And when it's like that, you're usually down around the bottom. Here, the way this is slicked up, this is going to be interesting to see how drivers are able to develop over the course of this race. You mentioned Kevin J. Holly not qualifying well. He actually only got one time in. Him and the 6 of Tim Ryan, I saw the two of them both coming off of 4, tag that wall on the front straightaway. That's one of these things, Cam, that these guys are going to have to be careful for with this slick racetrack. Very, very easy to push up wide and get that right rear tapping that outside retaining wall. This is going to be an interesting race to watch, how these guys get up on the shelf, how they work the traction, and how they work the bottom trying to make passes down on the slick stuff.
Yeah, speaking of passes, that's what I was going to get to. It's going to be one thing. These cars are having enough of a time just trying to drive around the track surface. You can see how reflective this the inside line is. That is how used up this track has been. So not only are we going to see these cars fighting the track, fighting for the grip, and fighting their own horsepower. Of course, the 410 Wing Sprint cars, you can lift your front so easily, but you're going to be racing 13 other iRacers trying to get themselves up front. We'll see what Kevin J. Holly and Stephen Renaud, who are 3rd and 4th in the overall standings, can do. Logan Seavey and Austin Sembelman, though, they're your 1 and 2, and they are going to be taking the green here. A little bit of a stutter step. Logan Seavey going to have to go through in a massive wreck, coming right off towards the green. A caution immediately. James Eden's your 3rd place car. Looks like he had a stutter step, and he ended up hitting the inside tire barrier, which is so easy to do, Randy.
I actually did that in my first race at Volusia, but I think that's just a little bit of experience coming in, especially on the slick surface, starting on that inside groove down there on the slick stuff off of corner number 4. The green flag comes out almost immediately when the pace truck comes down on a pit lane. What happens is you get on the throttle, and that right rear sticks when the left rear doesn't. So what it essentially does is turns the car to the left. James Edens, he put all that power down. Well, he tried to put all that power down on the ground. All it did was kick that car to the left and drive it straight into the barrels, went upside down. So that's his race done in about 10 feet.
Yeah, maybe 15 feet if you're lucky. My goodness, I've done that at speed, but that's a little different though. My goodness. Very unfortunate for James Eden's normally a quick driver, so very unfortunate for him. He'll have to sit this one out. We're now down to 12 cars, as not the way we wanted to get going here at Barberville, but it's just sometimes how things go. I think that little stutter step from Logan Seavey, Austin Selman tried to jump it not once but twice. And I think perhaps, Randy, that kind of accordion people together and got people a little too slow, and they started worrying more about not hitting people rather than the lines, and, well, something like that can happen.
Yeah, Selman really did try to jump that start early, and that definitely, I think, didn't help things as in terms of stacking up the field there, and, you know, it's just an unfortunate incident. I think that incident was unrelated to Selman kind of, you know, trying to get a good RT on Logan Seavey and be able to stay with him down the front straightaway. That's just a mistake all on Eden's own, but it's gonna be interesting to see once they go back to green here. What does Logan Seavey do? What does Austin Selman do when they go back to green? Who goes early? Who goes late?
Yeah, and that was a rough wreck. I don't believe any other cars have been injured. They've been kind of pacing around single file, so hopefully they'll get themselves sorted out. Logan Seavey is staying well away from that pace truck. There's a lot of driver chatter going on, so we'll see here what these guys can sort out. Perhaps they're going to cool themselves off, get themselves resorted out. Somebody pulling onto pit lane, Robbie Stearns. I have a feeling maybe perhaps his car had made contact with James Eden's during that incident. Just an unfortunate way to start our 30-lap feature here at Volusia Speedway Park in Barberville, Florida, but not much you can do. These guys, of course, they want to put on a good show, but sometimes these things happen. Randy, lights out. We'll see what Logan Seavey can do as they're going to round corner number 3, and we'll see just what they can do. As here comes the pace car. Pace car is going to be coming in. They're going to be working themselves through, and here comes Logan Seavey as he's going to start. A couple of cars pulling onto the pacing line, I believe. That is because during this incident, there was a couple of jump start calls, and those 3 cars are going to have to come in, somehow pull in and do some sort of stop and go or something like that and get themselves out and away. That's not the way you want to start these races, Randy, but sometimes things are just a little bit wonky. But for Logan Seavey, well, a not bad day. He's already got a 3-second gap just like that.
Yeah, for Logan Seavey, it's great days. For everyone else, it's not great at all. It's one of the issues with the sim itself. It's just, if there's an incident in front of you and you have to pass that car before you get to the start-finish line, you're going to get a black flag, and unfortunately, a lot of cars just got a black flag because of James Eden's mistake. So that one little solo incident has negatively impacted a lot of people, as we have a huge amount of cars down on pit lane. I think basically half the grid down there, if not more. None of them with damage whatsoever.
Yeah, and I think what ends up happening is that the pit stall isn't really much of a pit stall. It's not like people are coming in and pulling into the pits. So it's going to be difficult to obviously perform any sort of penalty. Not what you would like to see at all. Is pretty much just everybody has a lap down just because of this incident. Obviously, James Eden's, he was up in 3rd position, and he could have been targeted at 2nd when the accident actually happened. So unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that pretty much puts everybody into this big, huge issue here, trying to somehow serve this penalty, Randy. But I've never seen anything like this. That is not what we want to see. But my goodness me, well, let me put it this way: if anything happens to Logan Seavey, we're gonna get that excitement back. But for right now, though, ooh.
Yeah, this is a really, really confusing situation right now. Everyone is 2 laps down right now. Logan Seavey, the only car on the lead lap, but the fight for P2 is heating up. You have Robert Kinster and Chad Robinson. Robinson's about he's the 3rd car in line. You see these 4 cars running into corner number 1. He's the 3rd car in line. That 10 car is actually in 5th. They are not on the same lap as Robert Kurtzetter in the 10. So now into 3 and 4 they come, and Chad Robinson is going to try to bring that gap down with the somewhat abbreviated race they're going to have. But as slick as this race is working out here, Cam, we see everyone working to the top. Very single groove for what we're seeing at the moment. You see the 10 go to the top up on the shelf through 3 and 4, trying to get a run and get clear. Chad Robinson, though, unable to bring in the 8.
Yeah, and I see Derek Walker. He is trying to chase down Alex Bergeron, so those two are both 3 laps down. So this race having become extraordinarily confusing. I'm going to have to put my endurance racing cap on. You've got your leader, Logan Seavey. He's got 2 laps on Robert Kerstetter and Chad Robinson, who have a lap on Alex Bergeron, Derek Walker, and Kevin J. Holly, as well as Austin Semmelman. and then they go a couple of laps back. It's 4, 6, and 8 laps behind. So what an odd day here at Volusia. This has definitely got to be one of the strangest races, Randy, I think we are ever going to broadcast here on RaceSpot TV and iRacing Live. But you know what? Sometimes you just got to roll with it. Crazy things happen.
And CV into 3 and 4 all by himself. We don't really have any fights anywhere else really out there on the racetrack. Still, that fight for P2, I believe, the closest. About 2 seconds separated, and Robinson very close to the wall off of 4.
Yeah, and just either way, looking at the gaps between Kerstetter and Chad Robinson in P2, they're running, Robinson running lap times about 0.2 of a second slower, but looking between Alex Bergeron and Derek Walker, that number 10 sprint car, he is running faster laps, so Walker has to get past Kerstetter. He is running faster laps if he wants to chase down Alex Bergeron. As we're closing in on lap number 20, we're going to click that off. And either way, we'll get this thing sorted out. But right now, the big battle right now is Derek Walker trying to catch up to Alex Bergeron for that battle for 4th position.
And that's another fight that's really spread out. Basically the length of the front straightaway right here, about 2-3 seconds out there on the racetrack. So Derek Walker has a huge amount of work to try to reel himself in, but Alex Bergeron is actually lapping quicker than that 10 machine, and they're going to have about 10 or so laps to go. Actually, no, take that back. 5 laps to go once Logan Seavey gets to the line here, working lap number 25 of 30.
Yeah, and they're just slowly starting to close in now. P2 and P3, Robert Kerstetter and Chad Robinson. Robert Kerstetter, his lap times are not doing too swell this last couple of laps. We've got 5 laps to go here at Volusia Speedway Park. Logan Seavey, well, he's running away with it, but we've still got battles all around this track. Robert Kerstetter is on the defensive against Chad Robinson. We'll see they're pushing way high. Nobody really seems to be biting on that inside anymore. I think they've learned there's nothing down there for them to get that speed up. These cars are hitting about 130 on the straight, about 100, a straight 100 going through the corners. So for Robert Kerstetter, he's just got to focus on his lap times.
That he does. He's got a good gap to second place over Chad Robinson. Logan Seavey, though, going to get the white flag this next time off of corner number 4, Cam. Only about half a mile left to go here at Volusia.
Yeah, and he is well inside trying to make his way through some traffic right now. So barring anything catastrophic, which I don't see happening, is I believe we just had a pass behind between Howard Weaver and Steven Renaud. As here comes Logan Seavey, he is going to cross that checkered line as there's just a drag race right behind for the 8th position, and I believe it is going to go to Steven Renaud. So either way, though, Logan Seavey, what a night. I mean, you want to cash that check when you get it, and he did just that, 30 laps, just like that here at Volusia Speedway Park. Randy, strangest race I think we've ever done. The fireworks are going off. Logan Seavey's got the victory, but my goodness, people are going to be talking about this one for a long time.
Yeah, this is going to inspire a little bit of discussion. So yeah, that was one of the most interesting races I think I've ever watched. One of the most interesting results I think I've ever seen. So definitely unfortunate for everyone, and unfortunate something like that had to happen in the big broadcast race. Bit anticlimactic, but Cam, let's go down our unfortunate post-race results.
Yeah, well, while the leader was able to run away with it, I mean, there was still action pretty much all over this track. I mean, good battling between Robert Kerstetter and Chad Robinson. I mean, Derek Walker, Kevin J. Holly was still fighting with Austin Semmelman. But, yeah, either way, let's go through it. It's Logan Seavey, that number 1 car, 8 minutes, 37 seconds on the racing with 1 caution, that early caution from James Eden that threw so much chaos into this. But either way, Logan Seavey, he'll take the victory. Robert Kerstetter, he will come home in the 2nd position after starting 8th. Chad Robinson, I mean, take it when he can get it. Started 12th, he'll come home in the 3rd position. Alex Bergeron, well, started 4th, finished 4th, not that bad. Derek Walker, he'll come home in the 5th position. Kevin J. Holly in 6th. Austin Semmelman in the 7th position. Steven Renaud in 8th. Howard Weaver in the 9th position. Tim Ryan will come home in 10th. Eric Karen in the 11th position, and Robbie Starnes in the 12th position, with James Eden running out their 13 position field, and I'm sure he is not going to be too happy about that one. But Randy, either way though, it's one of those things, I don't think we'll probably ever get a race like this again, but you never know. But hopefully though we won't. But still, this has been a strange one.
Yeah, that was really odd. It was, like I said, I've never seen that happen before. I've never seen something like that really happen. But, well, we're going to have to, you know, racing comes with punches. Sometimes races are great, sometimes they're not. This is going to be one of the ones that unfortunately isn't. Hopefully next time out of Williams Grove, we can run a little bit better.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, this track is a track I really prefer. I really want to see how these guys are going to tango on such a worn track. It looked like they were really forcing the outside line, barely touching that inside line. But either way, we'll see. Maybe perhaps next week at Williams Grove, first off, everyone will make the start-finish line. But second off, we'll see if maybe we can get a pretty highly worn track surface, and we'll see what these guys can do around the Williams Grove track. But either way, Hugo, I think we're going to wrap it up here from Volusia Speedway Park. So for myself, Cameron Walsh, for Randy Chenoweth, for Hugo Louis, RaceBot TV, iRacing Live, and of course DirtVision.com. We will see you all next time at Williams Grove. Thanks for partaking in probably one of the strangest races I think we'll ever find. But hey, racing is just that. Racing, if it was planned, well, it wouldn't be racing at all. Either way, take care, everybody, and we will see you next week at Williams Grove. Have a good one.